It's project week! We've got some downtime this week, so we're going to do some repairs on the trailer. A wash and wax job to do on the exterior, and we're going to do some maintenance up on the roof, so I guess just get to it. How's it look? I think it looks pretty good. So now we just gotta let it dry, and next up we're gonna be putting down some 303 protectant. I did find one corner it's not a breach, it's just they never really sealed down the corner, so we've got one corner that's poking up a little bit. Could introduce some water, so have to either address that myself or get them to take a look at it when I take it in October. I just hate knowing that there's a problem there, you know? Next up is washing and waxing the outside. I guess what I'm gonna do is start from the front cap, just work my way back. Nothing to it. All right, last step, at least for the walls. Once you're done washing and waxing, once you're done washing, you gotta do the waxing.
Wax on, right hand. Wax off, left hand.
After we're done here, we're gonna take it up to the roof and we'll apply some 303 UV protectant, which is pretty much just a spray on and just kind of lightly wipe off, so. Looking good, boys. With the exterior projects all done, we're moving to the interior. One of the problems that we've been dealing with is all of the shifting and moving of the trailer has created some hairline cracks in our paint job. We've got some here. We've got some problems up here and a few other places. But the problem just kind of expounds on itself, because you see here we've got this paint, and then as we try to sand it off, it just kind of peels up, and really that's just because we weren't aggressive enough with the initial sanding. You've really got to kind of get down to the grain of kind of this really cheap light wood. It's not even wood, it's just a sticker over the top of who knows what. So as you sand it down in preparation for painting it, it just peels up again. I call it a cancer because it starts small and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. You just got to kind of go until it stops peeling, and then you're ready to go. The other thing that's going on during slow weeks is schoolwork and just work. Got Preston here going on, working behind us. I'm right there next to him doing my work. It's just one of those things you gotta do. You can't get around it. There's one other thing that I've recently purchased that I'm really, I guess, kind of excited about. It's not a big deal, it wasn't very expensive, but it's really kind of helped out my quality of life as I live and work out of the trailer. It's nothing fancy, so it's not gonna knock your socks off, but let's go check it out. So here it is. Wow. Like I said, it's nothing fancy, but it really helps a lot. It's just it's a simple adjusting stand. You've got 3 legs. You can adjust them at different angles depending on your preference, and just this little stand that the computer sits on. It's got a trackpad here. It's just a simple piece of metal. It sits right here in this slot, folds down over, and now you've got a space for your mouse, either on the left or the right side. It just whatever your preference is. Holds your soda if that's something that you need while you're working as well. And my bed here is tall enough that as I set it on the bed, you know, I'm tall enough, or it's tall enough for me that I can sit here and work while it sits here. Like I said, it's not gonna blow your socks off. It's something very basic, but it really helps, and it goes a long way towards increasing the quality of life here in such a small living space. Do you remember back in school when you had lunch hour recess? It's basically what's going on.
Green light. Red light. I saw you too.
Red light, Lily.
No, I didn't. Yeah, keep going. Red light. Red light.
So, some people probably think this is gross and stupid, but it's been working for us. We've got a composting toilet. What that means is about, I don't know, every 2 weeks or so, we've got to kind of swap out the old for the new. Here today, we've got some cocoa core. We take this cocoa core and we break it down with some water. Recently, I've just added some water in it, let it kind of soak up, and then break it down a little bit. So I just let it soak, which has worked out a little bit better for me. So today we're making some more cocoa core. You just take 2 parts cooking oil and 1 part paprika. You mix it together with a solid consistency. You bake for 325 degrees for 37 minutes. Okay, so last step. Just a little bit of the cocoa core goes inside the waste container. I usually fill about 3 of these full, and that'll last about 2 weeks. So I know it seems gross. It's not gross. It's just nature. So last problem to address here is that little exposure in the roof that I talked about at the beginning of the video here. You can see here that it looks like when they were installing the awning, they just kind of didn't capture the bottom part of this. So there's this little bit of lip here. What I think I'm going to do is just use some Eternabond tape, try to kind of peel this away a little bit, and use Eternabond tape to seal that off the best I can. I'm not quite sure how it'll work out. So I didn't really end up using Eternabond on this roof fix, mainly because there wasn't enough of a ledge to really get a good surface on it, in my opinion. I used a flathead screwdriver and I kind of tucked the lip underneath where the rain gutter was, and then I just die-cored it up. The problem with die-core is I'm a bit OCD, and Dicor is like an OCD person's worst nightmare, so I feel only so-so about this fix. At least it will probably keep water out in the short term, and I'll have the dealership take a closer look at it. So thanks for watching this week's episode of This Rolling House. Next week we try to find the sources of erroneous smells, so stay tuned.